And I'll just spotlight myself to make it a bit easy for everyone. Alrighty, so just gonna start with a bit of a warm up. You know the drill, gonna work away from top down. So just gently taking your hands behind your head and just let gravity stretch the back of your neck. So you're not pulling down, you're just letting the weight of your arms do the work. If you want, you can relax the knees and just create a bit more of a curve shape. Release your head. Take your fingers, a bit like a pistol grip, and just put them underneath the chin. And all we're going to do is just gently raise up. So you're not trying to crack the neck, you're just gently extending along the neck. And release. One hand to the side. So stretch along here. Don't think about pulling down the head, but extend out with the other arm to create a long line down here. And the other side. Just going to do a chest and a spine rotation. So hands behind the head, just an open position. We're trying to pull the elbows back, so we're opening up the chest. And all we're doing is just rotating to the side gently. As you breathe out, just come back to the center. Breathe in as you go to the other side. And breathe out. So just gently warming up the spine. Remember to keep pulling the elbows back. Just bring one arm across the body, shoulder down, elbow straight. So we're getting a stretch along the shoulder here. And just bring it over the head, so we're trying to make sure that it's coming flat back here. So we're getting a stretch along the front, along the tricep here. And the other side, across the body. And over the head. Just going to warm up the arms and shoulders a little bit. So just arms extended, palms down. Feel like you're reaching out to touch something far away. Just going to do little circles. So you're creating your own resistance. So really tight arms. Make it feel like you're pushing against something as you make just little circles forwards. And then a little bit bigger and a bit slower. So again, you're stretching out along down the whole way, so you've got them under tension. And then just bigger circles if you can manage them. Again, just take them a bit slower so your shoulders can warm up to it. And then we're going backwards, big circles. Smaller circles, so kind of medium weight. And then little circles and a bit faster. Shake out the fingers. Hip circles, so just gently, whatever size you need to do. And back. And we're going to warm up the quads and the lower body a little bit. So we're going to start with a bit of a squat, and then it's coming up to one side, basically kicking towards the back side on each one. So just in your own time. Just a few more. All right, we're going to do some Achilles to hamstrings. I'm just going to lower this a tiny bit. So both feet pointing in one direction, hips turn towards the feet. So bending forward, so front leg bent, back leg straight. So you're getting a stretch up the Achilles of the hamstring here. And then just in your own time, change your or shift your weight to pull back. So the front leg is straight, and you're stretching the hamstring here. So just take your time moving between them. So a forward lunge to a hamstring stretch. And then changing sides, it's just turning around. So again, forward lunge, straight back leg. Change it back, so straight front leg with the toes up. Just a couple more. And then we're just going to warm up the feet a little bit. So just start by pressing the foot into the ground. So it might be onto the balls of the feet. You might be curling the toes over to get a stretch at the front of the foot. You might be extending it backward for a longer stretch along the front of the calf. Might be ankle rotation. Whatever it is, just to get the muscles a little bit warm and knock out any little creaks. And then the other foot. All right. Okay, just going to raise the camera up a little bit now. So just going to start with a little bit of Mokuju kihon, just to warm up the body. And then we might do a couple of jutai jukata. Then we'll look at some jutai tan kata. And we'll probably look at tantai tan. So I'm not going to do all of each of them, just a little bit of all of them. So just starting with the Mokuju, just focusing on kamae, making sure that your feet are in the correct position, your hips are kind of that 45-degree angle from the front. Slight rotation of the back wrist, so that the barrel's not entirely straight, and that the elbow is pulled forward, so it's not pulled back behind your hip. It's a little bit further forward, more in line with just the front of your rib cage kind of area. All right, make sure you are on the right hip as well. So we're just going to do some basic kihon. So we're just going to do this with a single step and return. So it's all we're doing is maitsuki and return. So in your own time, I will make a count, but you don't have to follow it. Hajime, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Make sure it's staying horizontal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and roll it out. All right, should be a little bit warmer there. Just going to do some basic strikes. So I'm just going to change to gallery view so I can see both of you a bit clearer. So I'm going to be opening up for some sanbonme, so some three attacks. Yeah, that is 3 fingers. So starting with chokototsu. So the uchidachi, when we're doing chokototsu, you come in, you come to my, and all you'll see from the uchi is this. Making clearance for you to go for ski. So I'll come into here, I'll go ski. When I open, you take the opportunity to strike chokototsu, strong zanshin back, and then reset. So we're going to do 3 chokototsu, or tsuke. So, tsuke. Tsuke. Anish. Good. Hazuzetsuke is a little bit different. So you've imagined we've come to mine. You'll actually push, you'll put pressure to your right. So you're going to be pushing my mokuju to your right. And that opens me up here. My response is then to try and take back center, but I overcommit, therefore opening up for hazusetsuke. So for you, what that means is that you're going to be coming under and then through to the ski. So it's a little bit like doing a small U from your left side underneath the mokuju, coming up on your right. Okay. So we start at mai. You push my weapon to your right. I push it back across center. Now you're going to come underneath my mokuju for hazusetsuke. Okay. And we reset. Hazusetsuke. Underneath. Good. You reset. You push mine. I push back. Hazusetsuke. Good. Shita is a little bit different. So shita is basically where you'll see you've come to mine, and the uchidachi is not just going to go to the right, to the push to your left. They're going to push up and to your left. So it's going to take your weapon up to your left, a bit like this. So from there, all you're going to do is pull back and come underneath for the low kata in the door. So imagine if we're marked together. So shita otsuke, I push yours up to your left, you pull back, and then you come underneath for shita. Okay. Draw. We reset. Shita otsuke. Pull back. And shita. Sorry, it's a little bit hard to demonstrate this one. So the last one, shita otsuke, you pull back, and then you come under. Okay. Good. I mean, really, from your perspective, they're all just ski. There's just slight variance in them. So for chokototsu, which is the most basic one, you're just going straight through. So there's no variance from that to a basic ski. That's all chokototsu is. Datotsu, which is going underneath or beneath the mokuju to hit on the other side, and you can do it from both sides. It's basically a case of it's not coming straight through. You're coming either under that way, or you're coming under that way and then striking. So it's making a detour beneath their weapon as possible. So that's the big difference you see in the technique is you start, come underneath in a half circle and through, underneath and through. So that's a focus you should have for hazusetsuke. Shita otsuke is a little bit different because they've pushed the weapon out of the way. What you can either choose to do is step back and draw back a little bit, or you can try and draw your weapon back a little bit. It's not as well prescribed there. So mostly you come back, pull the weapon out of the way, and then come underneath. So you'll have gone from this position, back and through. So your weapon's out of position, back and through. So they're the three kind of distinct setups for those three basic strikes. So when you are practicing it, even if it's on your own, it's just seeing in your imagination what's actually happening there, what you're creating. Okay, so let's have a look at a couple of jutai jukata because they're good to go through. Now, Eduardo, you know these, I believe. Kind of, yeah. And Brian, it's kind of a, that's right.
Let's find out together.
That's right. So this is a good time to kind of walk through them. So basically, you've just done the three first kata, at least the techniques. So the first one is basically chokototsu. So all of them start in kamae, all of them are 3 steps in to whatever distance might vary. The attack is made, we withdraw, come back to center, gedan, retreat. So it's very similar to all the tantai tan ones and jutai tan. 3 steps in, 5 steps out in gedan. It's just the bits in between. So for ippon-me, literally all that happens is we walk in, we do cross mai. So you have to imagine at this point, you're crossing mokuju about 10 centimeters down with each other. All that happens is your uchi. So you crossed, you're both holding center. Uchi tenses, making the heart accessible. So you literally come straight in, take that opening for chokototsu, big step back. So in this case, once you've done the ski, you want a really big step out so you're no longer in mind, there's a gap between you. So that when you do your zanshin, which is a little step in, you're coming back into mai, okay? That's all ippon me really consists of fushidachi. So we're just going to work through it slowly. So we both start in chudan, walk in 3 steps, ich, ni, san. So we're crossed at mai. I go tense up, attack, big step back, and then a little step in, focusing on my kote with your zanshin. I bring us back to center. We go into gedan, and we withdraw. We'll do that one again. Come back up together. Coming in, ich, ni, san. Little zanshin, good. I bring us back to center. Gedan. Withdraw. Okay, good. Nihon men, nice and easy. We'll walk it through, or I'll talk it through as we walk it. So again, we start in chudan, both of us. We walk in, ich, ni, san. Now for number 2, I've left a half step gap. So there's a little bit gap. We're not crossing here. We're crossing more here. So there's that space between us. So your role from that gap is to step in and push my mokuju to your right. So you push it to your right, which leaves me open there. I don't like that, so I push back, creating this opening so you can come underneath and do hazusetsuke. Okay. So that's your Totsu technique. Pull back, zanshin again. I come in underneath your weapon, back to center, gedan, and withdraw. Chudan. Just hold on 1 second. I'm sure that's one of the others trying to get in contact with us. No, it isn't. That's okay. I don't care about that message. All right, we'll do that one again. So we're at chudan. 3 steps in. Ich, ni, san. There's a half step. You step in and push it, the mokuju over. I push it back, opening up my hazusetsuke. Right, withdraw. Little zanshin. I come underneath, bring us to center, gedan, withdraw. Back to chudan. Number 3 is sanbon me. So for this one, we start in a different kamae. For this one, I as the uchi will drop down to gedan, pointing at your right knee or your back leg. When you see me drop to gedan, you're just going to take your mokuju and go, cool, nod. So it's literally just a little nod off chudan to kind of acknowledge that movement so that we both know that we're ready. So I drop to gedan, you give me a little nod with your mokuju, and we come in 3 steps. Ich, ni, san. There's a half step between us. You're going to step in and feint towards my chokudotsu. So you're going to feint a strike. I'm going to deflect. You're going to pull back. And then you're going to go shita. Withdraw. Little zanshin. I come underneath your weapon to center. Gedan. Retreat. Chudan. Again, I go down to your back leg. You give me a little nod. 3 steps in. Ich, ni, san. You see an opening, you take it. And I deflect. You pull back. And shita. Withdraw. Zanshin. I come underneath. We go together. And we retreat. And back to chudan. The last one we'll do is yohome, which is nodotsuki. So in this instance, what's actually going to happen is I will start the movement again. I go from chudan and I come up. So what I've done is I've created an opening. And you've gone, excellent. You've left yourself open. You're going to drop down towards kind of my left hip. So you'll drop from chudan and go, oh, excellent, left hip. Sorry, right hip. My left hip on your right side. That's what I actually mean. So it comes down on your right side towards my front hip. And I go, oh, bugger, I didn't mean to do that. And I come back down to chudan. So what's happening is that I make a mistake you take advantage, I realize, and I correct my kamae. And that's how this one technically works to open up. So we start back, we're both in chudan. I make an error and go up too high. You go, excellent, and you point down at my left hip. I go, oh, bugger, come down to chudan. 3 steps in, ich, ni, san. Again, we have another half step between us. You're going to make a feint towards my hip. So it doesn't have to be strong. It's more like a testing the waters. I go, no, I don't like that. And I cover it. It's not a harai. I just put pressure over it. You pull back and step back. And now nodo is open. Withdraw, zanshin. I bring us back to center. Gedan. And withdraw. Chudan. We'll do that one again. So I make a mistake. You take advantage. I cover. And we go back in. Ich, ni, san. You see an opening here, and you're going to take it. You feint, I cover, you pull back, nodo. Draw and zanshin. Good. That brings back to center. Geda. Back to chudan. Okay. So we're going to run these ones through again. So 1 through 4, twice each. I'm not going to tell you what they are because hopefully my openings will give you some indication of what's coming next. I will talk through them now. So in Ipponme, we both start in chudan and we cross. And what happens is you see I create an opening for you. So I tense up, you see an opening. In Nihonme, we've got a little bit of a gap. I will not do anything. I'm going to wait for you to make a move. So your move is to try and push me off center. I try and correct, and you take advantage of that to do hazazetsuke. So number 2, I'm going to sit there until you move, or one of you moves. Number 3, you'll see me drop my weapon to gedan. And that's a kind of indicator for you that you're going to be aiming at something above gedan. So we come in, you're going to feint to chokototsu, I'll deflect, you pull back and go for shita. So you're basically finding the openings that I'm leaving for you. And number 4, you see me tilt up, you go, oh, opening, drop a little lower, I cover. So we come in, you go for a low feint. My covering leaves me open for nodo. So all of the openings I create for you should tell you what's coming next for you as the shidachi. So to try and help that, I'm not going to do the walk and I'll just kind of walk on the spot. So you can hopefully see my openings and my kamae a little bit clearer. So we'll do each of them twice. So this is ipponme. Walking in. Ich, ni, san. Gedan. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And again. Ich, ni, san. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. 2本目。1、2、3。Good. Each, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once more. 1, 2, 3. Good. Start thinking about 3本目. This is number 3. 2、3、4、5. Ich, 2, 3. Good. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Ich, ni, san. Good. So I'm having to go with whichever of you I see first. So the timing might be off for one of you. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Yohome, number 4. Ich, ni, san. Good. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Back to Chudan. So just make sure you're dropping it to start at my hip. Okay, that's it. Then I come down. Ich, ni, san. Good. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Good. Those 4 make sense, roughly. All you really need to know with the Jutai Jukata is they're just progressing you through technique. Chokutotsu, datotsu, shito otsuke, nodo. So that's the first 4, the 4 basic strikes you learn. So to the heart, underneath into the heart, to the lower heart, to throat. So as long as you remember, those are probably the 4 that you learnt them in as well, because that's what I normally teach in. Chokutotsu, datotsu, katotsu, nodotsuke. 5 through 8 is basically just the responses to them, which become migi no harai, hidari no harai, shita no harai, and makiotoshi. So it's basically those 4 again, but you as the shidachi are now receiving them and making the response. So as long as you remember that's the order, chokutotsu, datotsu, sorry, chokutotsu underneath for hazusetsuke, lower for shita and nodo. It's the same for 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just you have chokutotsu with migi no harai, hazusetsuke with hidari no harai, shita with shita no harai, nodo with makiotoshi. So it's basically the same 4 again. That's pretty much how I learned to remember what order they come in. And if the uchi is doing it correctly, you should see those openings kind of like I was trying to demonstrate for you there to tell you what you are doing next, because your uchi is supposed to lead you. All right, if you want to grab a drink, grab a drink. What we'll do is we'll move on to a little bit of Jutai To. So I'll keep you on the Mokuju for the moment, and I'll pick up the Kodachi, and we'll start working through those briefly. I should have asked, were there any other questions about Jutai Ju 1, 3, 4? No? Exactly.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, beautiful.
I'm aware that you're just talking to this like weird torso with Irish written on it. So
that's right. Number 4 is probably the harder one in terms of placement, and number 3, and it really helps when you're doing it with a partner. But as long as you've got the basic idea, you'll be fine. So, Jutai To. There's only 6 kata. The first 3, the Mokuju wins. The last 3, the Tanken wins. So we're going to start off with the 1, 3, 3. And literally for the first one, you're pretty much doing kata number 1 again. You're going to go straight for shokutotsu from your perspective. I will tense up to allow that opening. The only difference here is that Jutai To, you will always start in gedan. I will always start in irimi. And as we walk in, you're going to bring your mokuju up to meet the kodachi. So you start in gedan, but as you walk in those 3 steps, you come up to meet in terms of height, okay? There's a couple where it might have a little bit of a gap, but that's what's happening is you're moving up so you're at the same height as me. I don't know why they do that rather than have you start in Shudan. That's not my call to make. So, ippon me. Again, I'm not going to walk in too far. I'm just going to try and show you the openings from here. So you'll start in, we both start in chudan for every single one. And then from there, you move into gedan, and then I cover you with irimi. So if you drop to gedan, yep, and then we walk in. Ich, ni, san, bring up your mokuju as you walk in. So you're at my height. I tense. Big step back. Little zanshin at my kote. I come back up to meet you. Gedan. And 5 steps back. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Back to chudan. And again, you go to gedan, I go to irimi. 3 steps in. Ich, ni, san. Good. Gedan. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Back to chudan. So that's ippon me. Very, very simple. You've literally been doing that just before. Nothing fancy. It's just you starting gedan. Nihon me is a little bit different. So what's going to happen is there's going to be a small gap between us. We walk in exactly the same small gap. I'm going to push your mokuju to your left. So I'm going to pressure it, and so it's going to open to your left. And what you do then is go, I don't like this. You're going to step straight back with your weapon and then come in for chokototsu. This will make more sense when we're partnered here. So if you imagine we've walked in, you brought your weapon up to meet mine. What happens here is I'm going to step in. So I'm going to connect, step into your weapon, and I'm going to push it to your left. So it's open to your left. So you can see I'm now open here, but your weapon's over here. You're going to step back straight and then come straight in for chokototsu. Hey. And then kote with your zanshin. And we bring it back to center. That's all this one is. So you're taking advantage of an opening. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Back to chudan. You go to gedan, I go to irimi. 3 steps in. Ich, ni, san. So bring your weapon up. I usually do so on all these. I step and push your mokuju to your left. You see this nice opening, you step back and come straight at it. Good. Zanshin. Bring us back to center. Gedan. Withdraw. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Back to chudan. So that is number 2. Again, my opening should very clearly show you what's the most accessible target. It's a similar thing for number 3. I'm just going to work through the number 3 movement for you, or with you. So we come through from gedan, we come ich, ni, san. Again, they push our mokuju to the left, but they also push it down. So it's gone diagonally down towards our left leg, which is not a great position to be in. So for this instance, again, they've left themselves open. What we're going to do is we're going to step back into the right, but as we do so, we're going to pull the mokuju up like this. So it comes up quite high. And from there, you then step in on that angle to do nodo. So really what you're seeing is from this position down here, is we come up. So the mokuju kind of does this little arcing circle as you come up and then back up to nodo. So that's kind of the movement, and it should feel nice and flowy if you get the timing right. The reason you step off the line is because it gives you a much greater angle towards nodo. Their weapon's well off to the other side, and so it makes it harder for them to defend against it. So again, we start, you're in gedan, I'm in irimi. Yeah, good. 3 steps in, bring your mokuju up as you walk in, 2, 3. I step and I push it down and to your left. Good. Sorry, down into your, my apologies. My brain did something very weird there. Yes, down into your left, my right, and I had mine on the wrong side. I do apologize. We come back. We'll do that one again so I can show you the opening clearing. All right, you're in gedan, I'm in irimi. Ich, ni, san, bring your mokuju up as you walk. I push it down and to your left, opening this up. You step out and then up. Yeah, good. So it's a very clear target opportunity that you have there. So all of these ones are very much about the most obvious opportunity. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Just check them. All right, we're going to run through those three again, twice each. I'm only just going to show you the openings. I'll try not to talk too much of the explanation through it. Again, I'm just not going to do the full walk in. I'm just going to do it from here so you can see what my position is. So ippon me. And starting down at ghetto.
Sorry.
That's all right. All right, walking in. Ich, ni, san. Good. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And again. Ich, ni, san. Good. Jiran. Nihon me. Ich, ni, san. Good. Jiran. Ni, san, shi, go. Once more. Ich, ni, san. Good. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. 3本目。いける？はい。1、2、3。Beautiful. Good. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Once more. Ich, ni, san. Good. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Nice. How'd that feel?
Ski is totally throwing me off.
Well, what's throwing you off?
Sorry, obviously they're all skis, but that one there, because when I saw you moving there, the only thing, because you've seen it, the only thing going through my head is, this is a Jukendo ski. I have to do this. You've seen the thing.
It's not far off it. It's not far off it. But that's a very similar idea. It's that pullback, so you get that really lovely deep circle strike. Yeah. And that's the kind of feeling you should get. And obviously, because you're using what is basically a jaw, it's going to feel much more natural for you to do that. But look, it's the right idea. It's exactly the right idea.
I shouldn't be now. One of the questions I have on that though is, when you're coming back, does this hand move here, or does it stay put? Stays put.
You never really want the left hand to move outside of the guard. So when you've got a natural mokuju, we actually have it taped. So your front hand's not supposed to move outside of that taped area at any point. So when I do the step back, so you can see my hands on the tape at the moment.
Yeah.
Stay there. So it comes in kind of against my arms, kind of against the rib cage. Yeah. Any other clarifications you needed or questions?
Oh, I think that's okay. Yeah. Okay. I think we're all right.
So the Jutai tour 1 through 3, it's really just looking at what opening again that Uchi is giving you. They should make sense for what's the most obvious target. And the techniques aren't particularly hard. So what we're going to do is we'll swap it over, and I'm going to give you the kodachi, and I'll take the mokuju for the second three. So you get to win this set as well. It's much more interesting for you in this perspective. So if you grab your kodachi or tanshino, whatever you've got on hand. So just wait for Eduardo to come back. I'll just watch his dog in the background. Oh, it's gone again. So yes, the uchi roll for both of these is pretty tame. There's not a lot to it.
Sorry, I'm just getting messages from somebody about
That's okay.
We're doing
That's okay.
stuff, and it's a pile of nonsense.
That's okay. So I'll talk to Eduardo while you're on the phone there. So these ones, again, it's basically, they should make sense to you from a tankendo perspective. They're all going to be irimi seitai, all three of these. So it's what makes the most sense. And we're really just repeating the same three irimi seitai we have in the tantai tan kata, 6, 7, and 8, in terms of the type of irimi it is, or very close to. So the mentality should be there that where is that body part that I can grab? What do I need to be pulling down again? And how do I strike? That's all it really is. So number 4 is really fairly simple. And again, it makes more sense if we demonstrate this together. Again, we start in gedan, coming up, and irimi. So we walk in, and I bring my mokuju up to meet yours, your tanshino from irimi. What you're going to do is you're going to step in and push my mokuju to your left. So you're going to be pressuring, sorry, to your right, pressuring it to your right. Yeah. So it opens me up here. What you're going to do at that point, because you're on this side of me here, keep your tanshino or kodachi, keep putting pressure as you move in closer, like a step or two closer, and you grab between my hands with your right hand. You're then going to push it down, breaking my balance, and then you're going to stab me with irimi seitai, just like normal. And then when you start stepping back, put your tanshino, your weapon, back on my mokuju, so you're holding it down as you walk away. And I come back up to center. We then both go into gedan and withdraw. Shiko, and back up to chudo. So from there, again, I go into gedan, you go into irimi. 3 steps in. Ich, ni, san. You're going to step in and push my mokuju to your right. You're going to keep pushing it in as you walk in and grab between my hands. Push it down, break my balance, stab me. Keep your weapon on mine as you walk back. Get down and withdraw. Sure. I'm going to stop a little bit more in between these ones because these ones are a bit more complicated, doing irimi seitai with the mokuju. Did either of you have any questions or things you wanted to check regarding that particular one?
No, I don't think so.
So 2.5 steps, 3 steps push for the last step, and then the Ashisabaki from here to the
So for me, what I tend to do, because I've got short legs, so I push. So with my first step, I actually push quite deep to give myself quite an advantage. And then I might do a bit more like an okuriash before I swap around. Basically, the idea is you should be able to do it in like 1 step, but if you're short like me, you're probably going to have to fudge it a bit and take a little bit of extra steps where you can. As long as you get in, that's probably the most important thing. So if you imagine with that first stepping, because you do start about half step apart, is if I step in deep enough to come that far down the mokuju, I only have to step far enough so I can turn and grab just past here. So it's not too deep a step. So again, if I'm here, with that half step, if I do a big step in and sweep it to the side, I should if I do a little kuriyash off my right leg when I do the turn, I should be able to get in to the mokuju, because they're still a standard mokuju length away. So you should be able to make it with one step, but if you need to shuffle it a bit, that's fine too. Just keep moving until you're in range.
Or tanken or bokuto, what do we slide it, or how do we move it on top of the mokuju?
I slide because you're keeping pressure on it then. So it's kind of hard to demonstrate here. So for me, it's mostly a case of you're trying to stay slightly over the top with the angle of the tanshino. So you're keeping it pushed out, and you're not pushing it down too much because that's the next kata, but you're pushing it out to the side. So you're creating that opening for you to move in. So you're basically just opening up their target by going, hey, your weapon's now over there. So as I move in, I keep that pressure on there. I try not to let it go. So it's not a harai. You want to maintain that contact the whole way. That way you've got a better chance of controlling all the way up to the point where you grab it between their hands. And you really don't want to be grabbing it until you're pretty much quite up to their kote. So reaching through in, shuffle in. Now you know you've got control. You can do that quick changeover for Irimi Seitai. Again, you want to be safe doing this because your left hand's unprotected. Okay. So, think we're pretty good with number one? Yeah. All right. So, nihon me. In this instance, it's basically the same start. We walk in. You will push my mokuju to your left again. The difference here, sorry, I'll push your mokuju to the left again. The difference here is you don't take that. You step straight back and you're going to come in, or so I'm holding the wrong weapon. This is why I'm getting confused. All right, now so we walk in, you push my mokuju to your left again. I don't like that, so I step back on the line. I come straight in for your chokototsu, at which point you harai my mokuju to your left. Sorry, to your right. Oh, God. Doing this around the wrong mentality. So if we are here, we've come up from Irimi and Gedan, we've come to center, there's that little gap. You come in and push my mokuju to your left, that side. I don't like that, so I step back and I'm going for your chokototsu. So you're going to harai down to your right. Sorry, is that right? So hold on this way. Sorry.
I'm chokototsuing, like I'm harai. If you're
Haraiing to your right. So it's hard because I'm trying to think about it in the other one. So you step off there. You're going to harai down to your left. Yeah, from right to left.
Right.
Yeah. So that puts my mokuju over here. At which point you're going to step in, grab my elbow. So you're rotating, grab my elbow to break my balance and come in here. And then again, cover my arm, cover my weapon as you walk back. I do apologize. All the rights and lefts really get to me when I'm trying to describe the other side. We're going to go down and return. So again, if we've come back to the point where we've moved into center, we're reaching a little bit of a gap, you step in and push my mokuju to your left. So you don't have to, it's not a big step and you stay on the line, you just pressure it to your left. I step back, I go for your chokototsu, you harai it to your left, and then grab my left elbow and Irimi Seitai ski. Cover, get down, and withdraw. We'll try and do that one a little bit more properly this time. So starting from Chudan, I go into Gedan, you're in Irimi. Ich, ni, san. I just realized I'm probably displaying the wrong openings because my brain is not working. So as long as you are coming in, pushing to your right to your left, you'll be fine. Just ignore some of what I was doing. So we'll do that one again. I'll try and open in the right direction this time, so it makes more sense. Get down, Jeremy. Ich, ni, san. You push to your right. I step back. You go right to your left. Yep, Jeremy. So you did that beautifully. I was just opening to the wrong side at the start before. I think I have the words right and the movements wrong.
Naginata. I was always able to tell my right from my left until I started doing Naginata.
Right, left, it's all room. Okay, apart from my obvious positioning display, how is that one feeling for you? Does it kind of make sense?
Yeah, it does. I can see the importance of it. It's gonna be a devil to practice on my own, but you know, when I eventually get to practice it with someone, it's gonna make a lot more sense. I can see.
Yeah, and you really do have to just imagine where the line of their weapon is, because that makes a whole lot of sense of what's open on their body as well. All right. Okay. Number 6. That's 6 fingers now. So this is the last of the Jutai to kata. So in this particular one, again, you're winning. What we're doing is replicating the high men block or nodo block, irimi seitai. So this is the third irimi seitai. So from this perspective, again, we're walking in, we meet, there's a little bit of a gap. This time you're going to actually pressure my weapon down, just directly down. And I don't like that. So again, this is like tan 8. I pull back and I go for nodo, at which point you have to time it to catch my weapon underneath, keep pushing it up until you can grab my elbow, and then do irimi seitai. And then put your tanken against my weapon as I bring it down, so you're holding it up against me. Get down. And withdraw. Back to Chuda. Do that one again. So I'm in Geda and you're in Irimi. Ich, ni, san. Get down and withdraw. Okay. Any questions about number 6?
Is it a harai upwards, or are you just catching it and just going?
The danger with harai is that if you send them off the line, they're just going to come down at you on an angle you're not expecting, pretty much on top of your head or on your hand, if you're not careful. So this one, it's about timing it. So when you've pressured down, and again, this is like tan number 8, it's all about timing. You push down on the weapon as they withdraw, and as they're pulling back to strike, or in this case, coming forward for nodo, you need to catch up and push up, lock it. So you're trying to sweep, you're trying to connect, so you're using their momentum against their movement. So with tan, because they're coming down, you need to catch it as they're coming into this position rather than when they're coming forward. With the mokaju, you want to catch it so I pull back as I'm coming up. So you can use that momentum to keep it going up by catching it underneath. So you can't stop me going forward, but you can redirect it upwards.
Keep it going upwards, yeah.
Yeah. So again, this one's about timing. This is not one that you would necessarily do fast. It is kata after all, and your uchi should be timing it, knowing hopefully what your comfort level is. Yeah. So it's better to do this one slower as the uchi to give them more time to catch the weapon, because you are going in for nodo. All right, so let's run through 4, 5, and 6 very quickly, twice each. So number 4. Ich, ni, san. So you push my weapon over. I pull back. Oh, sorry, I push my weapon over. Now what do you do? So you're going to keep moving in against it as well, so you keep connecting. So these 3 are all about your Irimi Seito. Good. Don't worry, I got confused and I was thinking about another one too. Get up and withdraw. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Back to Chudan. Kamae. Ich, ni, san. That's okay.
Sorry, I was on 2. My head.
That's right. That's what comes a little bit harder with these ones, is remembering which Irimi Seitai you're working on. All right, number 5. So choose our kamae. Ich, ni, san. So you push it open. I step back. Yeah. Good. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. And again. Ich, ni, san. Yeah. Good. Get done. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Number 6. Get on an Irimi. Ich, ni, san. So you push it down onto the ankle. Oh, sorry, push down, sorry, I come up. Get on. Back. Chudan. Irimi and Gedan. Ich, ni, san. Pressure it down. Get on. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Good. How's that feeling?
I like that. I know, like, we're missing the other person and the pressure, and but it does give you a good sense of the kata itself. So
That's good.
I like those kata as well. You know, I came in here for a reason, and we all know what it is. So, you know, I'm not gonna lie.
King of kata. How about you, Eduardo? How those feeling?
Yeah, apart from the brain fart I had at the beginning with the number 4, yeah, it's really nice. The going, it's, yeah.
For some reason, they actually make a bit more sense for the Irimi Seito when you're doing against the Mokuchu in this kata. Like, there's a very clear reason to do them in this particular setup, which I think doesn't come through quite so well sometimes with the Tantai Tan versions. So I really like the Jutai To, Jutai Tan, simply because they do pair up very, very well. Yeah. And all of the openings are very clear in terms of what is the next opportunity. So I think these are really good ones to work on because you're working with both weapons. Obviously, so the uchi roll isn't a lot of fun. It's a lot of standing there and creating openings and reacting, but it's important that the uchi shows you very clear targets, because without that, it makes it a lot harder. yeah, I'm sorry we didn't get to any of the Tan Tai Tan tonight, but we kind of did the Tan Tai Tan on Sunday, so this was a nice change to do some Ju Tai Ju, some Ju Tai Tan, and then
show
this
me
week.
to show up on Sunday, won't it?
Well, you can always watch the videos. So the question is what people want to do this weekend, if people are coming this weekend. So again, I'll message everyone and see what you have to say. Do either of you have any issues with this gallery view going up on a public view? I can put up the speaker one up only, if you prefer.
I doubt anyone in like Clontarf Community College is going to have a vested interest in Jukendo in the next couple of years. Unless I see it, but that's like even less likely to happen.
Eduardo?
Yeah, for me, it's completely okay.
That's what I thought. It's just with these ones, especially doing kata, it's actually better if they can see both sides of the equation rather than me just standing there going, yeah, that's great. So that's great. Thank you, both of you. Yeah, all right. Well, look, I hope you have a lovely rest of the day. It's looking like nice weather out there, so enjoy it if you can.
Thanks. I'll be
It's
working.
already raining.
All right. And
it has been doing this non-stop all week. The sun is just long enough for me to go, I'll take the Naginata out. And then it starts raining.
So sounds very typical. All right. Well, look, thank you, both of you.